Hey there, Jessica here from JewelryTutorialHQ.com. A commonly asked question from those who are new to wire wrapping and wire working is what kind of tools do I recommend for beginners? So beyond the essential tools that I talk about in another video, another tool that I highly recommend if you plan to do a lot of wire wrapping and wire working are the nylon jaw chain nose pliers. Nylon jaw pliers come in really handy for a couple of different things, which is what I'm going to show you in this video. Now, most of the following techniques apply to the smaller gauges of wire like 22, 24, and 26 gauge, but not so much the larger gauges of wire, so just keep that in mind. First, you can use nylon jaw chain nose pliers to straighten wire that's right off the coil or the spool. So if you'd like to eliminate that curve before you start working with the wire, all you have to do is pull the wire through the jaws of the pliers several times until you get the wire nice and straight. These pliers are also good for straightening out kinks in your wire. The same technique applies, just use a slightly stronger grip to pull out those kinks. Sometimes you might make a mistake and want to try and fix it without wasting the wire. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this because the process of wrapping the wire, unwrapping it, straightening it, and then wrapping it again can make the wire really brittle, and that's more so with some materials than others. So please just use your best judgment. Carefully inspect the wire after straightening to see if it seems strong. If it seems really chewed up or brittle, or you have any deep gouges or grooves in the wire, it's best to just start over. Brittle wire breaks very easily, and we don't want that. Another way you can use nylon jaw chain nose pliers is to grip your work to bend your wire without leaving tool marks. This is especially handy if you're working with soft wire, including craft wire or artistic wire, and you want to avoid those unsightly tool marks. If you're making spirals, for example, it can be difficult to avoid marring the wire as you work. You do have to squeeze really tightly or the piece will just slip around while you try to make the spiral. Finally, nylon jaw pliers can be used to work harden jewelry wire. So if you have a wire that's a little bit too soft for a project and you want to give it some more strength, you can simply pull the wire through the jaws of these pliers until you start to feel it harden up. You don't want to go overboard with this though, because remember, the process of working the wire like this can make it more brittle. Just pay attention to the feel of the wire and stop when you start to feel it change. Nylon jaw pliers are made with removable jaws because pulling wire through them eventually leaves grooves in the nylon. When they start to get really chewed up like this, you'll need to switch out the jaws for a fresh pair. Check out my how-to video on how to replace the tips on your nylon jaw chain nose pliers if you need help with that. So what other questions do you have? I'd love to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe for more tool tips, jewelry making techniques, and tutorials. I'll see you soon.